We were texting back and forth. It was going perfect. Text conversation was great. It was flowing, and she still flaked. So I'm going to talk about that, talk about flaking and some of the ways that you can improve your results with online dating and getting less flakes. So let's get into it. It's Mike here from Art of Alpha, and one of the things that happens to a lot of my clients and just guys in general, even me, a lot of times you get flaking. So you'll go out, you'll maybe approach some girls, and you're like, this is going amazing. I had a conversation the other day, talked to this girl, went over to her, approached her on the street, got her number, had like a 20-minute amazing interaction. And I said, this is amazing. There's no way this can't turn into a date. This is definitely going to be a date. And I text her, doesn't text me back. This is very common, and we're going to talk about some of the things that you can do. And here's an example. This was a Bumble match right here. I'll throw it up on the screen. This is a Bumble match. We're going back and forth, and I say, I'm just teasing her a little bit, flirting, and she says, Sunday it is. She confirms for Sunday. And I say, perfect. Let me get your number, and I'll see you on Sunday. Gives me your number. We start texting. Set it up for Sunday. Definitely, I'm like, guaranteed. The work's done. I did everything perfectly. It's going to be a date on Sunday. And what does she send me? Hey, OMG, I totally forgot. I'm sorry. I don't think today will work out. So, flaking. Why does it happen? What could I have done differently? What are some things that you guys can work on to improve your flaking? And it's going to go into a couple notes that I have. All right, the first reason that she could flake is because she doesn't see you as a real person yet, especially when you're approaching during the daytime, going to talk to a girl during the day. She doesn't see you as a real person. Unless, sometimes you can have a short interaction and it works out. Sometimes a long interaction, it works out. But there are times where she goes, this guy just came up to me in the street, started talking to me, or in the grocery store or whatever, and she might think, that's never happened to me before. I don't know if this guy does this all the time or what's the deal. So sometimes the longer you talk to her, the more she can see you as a real. But I'm going to give you some ways that you can help with that, and she can see you as a real person, and then be like, okay, this makes sense for me to go on a date with him. One of the things that you can do, one of the things that I like to do, especially if you get her number on Bumble or on Tinder or Hinge, if she doesn't see you as a real person, what I'll do sometimes is send her a picture of myself doing something, send her a selfie, send her something that she's like, okay, this guy is really who he is. He's really what he looks like in his Bumble and dating profile. So I know he's the real deal. Another thing you can do is send a voice message. So this works perfectly. And one of the tips for a voice message, say you're on Bumble, right? And you're texting back and forth. Put on some music in the background and then send her a text with the music. Or send her a voice message with the music in the background. And then she can hear your voice. She can be like, okay, this guy seems fun. And plus the music will add a little bit to it. And it just makes her be like, okay, this is actually a real guy. It's like a real person. And when you do that, she feels more comfortable. She's more at ease, and she's more ready to go on the date. Another thing you can do that works really good is call. I had an example the other day, and a lot of times you're on Bumble, Hinge, Tinder, you're texting back and forth and it fizzles out. The conversation dies. And a way to prevent that, or a way to avoid that, is call. Especially now on Bumble, you have the voice message and you can call right with the app. I matched with a girl the other day, and I'm texting her back and forth. She's texting me all this like big long detail, all these things, and I say, hey, let's just get on the phone and let's talk. So because of that, we talked and had a great conversation. Now it's been like 3 weeks. I haven't had a chance to meet up with her, but it's been a few weeks, and the vibe is still there because we spoke on the phone. So it just adds another element to it. Instead of just texting, now you're like, hey, let's talk, because most guys don't do that. And she was like, wow, you're the first person to talk to me on Bumble. because most people aren't doing that. So if there's a girl that you really like on the app and you're like, I need to stand out from the other guys, say, hey, I'm going to call you. So call her, hear her voice, let her hear your voice. It will go a long way. Tip is use Instagram as value. If you have a cool Instagram, you're doing a lot of cool things, and you're posting pictures, posting videos, posting stories, when you approach a girl during the day on the street, get her number, if the text starts to die off, you can say, hey, what's your Instagram? Or instead of getting her number, get her Instagram. I've had this where I've talked to a girl a year ago during the daytime in the street, whatever. Maybe I was traveling and got her Instagram. And then a year later, she says, hey, you're coming back to my city. Or, hey, now she's in my city. You can see that all through the stories, where if you have just her phone number, you can't see her day to day, what she's doing or what's going on to comment on. So if you get her Instagram, and you want to make sure your Instagram looks good because it adds value, now you can keep the interaction going a lot longer, and she can be like, wow, this guy's really cool. His Instagram, he's like, again, a real person. And she can just stay connected with you, and you can stay connected with her through Instagram. So phone numbers are good, but Instagram is also good, but you have to have a good Instagram profile. Last 2 tips that have to do with flaking. So once she sees you as a real person, you can call her, you can, during the interaction, have better conversations, understand the attraction better when you meet her, understand texting better. All of that will help. But you can also send her a picture of you so she sees you as more real. You can call her, send her a voice message, do all of that. But at the end of the day, sometimes girls will flake, even guys. Sometimes you just get busy, you have other opportunities. Sometimes you work all day and you're like, I don't feel like going out. So there's other reasons why girls flake. So the point of that is, don't beat yourself up. To expect that it's part of the process. There will be flakes. That's why you want to have a lot of volume. You want to get a lot of different numbers. Dating is a process that takes time. You want to get numbers. You want to get matches on Bumble. You want to set up your profile so you're getting a lot of matches and a lot of leads. You want to go out, socialize, get numbers that way. So it all combines to a well-rounded dating life. You don't want to just wait for one opportunity, maybe every 6 months, and just waiting for that one girl, like hopefully that one girl will return my message, because sometimes they'll flake. Even the best interactions will flake. So you want to have a lot of volume, go out a lot, get a lot of numbers, and have a lot of different opportunities. So if one girl does flake, you're not like, oh, it's the end of the world. It's the worst day of my life. This girl flaked. So when I had the date set up with this girl, texting back and forth, and I said, definitely this is going to happen on Sunday. It doesn't happen. So what do? I get more matches. That same day I was talking about where I called that girl on Bumble, that was the same day I had the date, matching with girls, then called her and had a possibility for another date with someone else. So you always want to have different opportunities. The biggest thing that guys struggle with is they just get one number and then they wait for that to work out. Sometimes it doesn't work. So that's why you want to have many opportunities to find the girl that you're meant to be with, or find the relationship that you want. And the last point on this is, don't beat yourself up. So you need to understand attraction, how dating works. It's why it's very important to understand all of this, because then you won't beat yourself up. You won't say, oh, this girl flaked. Oh, I'm a loser. I can't get dates. You won't do that to yourself, because you'll understand, okay, this is part of how this all works. This is part of the process. So the worst thing you can do is get in your head and start thinking negative thoughts about yourself. You want to always have positive thoughts. Always understand the situation. Understand, okay, this is part of it. I can maybe improve. Maybe there's a couple things that I need to build more comfort with her, or have a better interaction so she actually wants to see me more. Or there's certain things you can work on during the process, but understand that you will get flakes. This will happen. Not every interaction is going to be perfect. And don't beat yourself up. Just take the action that you're supposed to take. Go out, socialize, improve your profile, improve your texting, improve all of that to increase your results. But don't think negatively about yourself. Don't look down on yourself. Don't have negative self-talk. Don't beat yourself up if a girl flakes. Just take it as part of the process. And if you do want to learn how to get more matches, I have the Bumble Starter Guide down below, also coaching. And I'm going to make a podcast about the same subject. So check out the podcast. And I'm going to talk about some other flaking issues and some other dates and all that, how to improve on the flaking. So check out the podcast. And subscribe to the channel. My subscribe pillow. Subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video.